Looks like it's starting.
Okay, I'll start now.
All right.
All right, hello everyone. Thanks for tuning in to our first live Kvltcast, our first stream where we will talk about what's going on at Kvlt Games, what we're working on, and this time we're going to talk about the game that we have in the works that is the closest to completion, Serene Estates Last Guy. We will talk with the devs, with two main devs of the game. The game is being developed by a sub team of Kvlt Games, Team Serene. And yeah, today we have here Nick and Artturi. You want to?
What's going on, guys?
Hey, hello.
So,
Thanks for being here today. Right.
yeah, good to be here.
So let's get this going. This is actually the first stream I am hosting. Been invited to. Not exactly very experienced.
Yeah, it's all
What
kind
up,
of
Vampire Frog
together.
in chat? What's going on?
Hey, Vampire Frog. Yeah, let me. Right.
What up, Reaper?
There's Reaper. There's our man. And God's dog. I think I know who that is.
I also know. All right, now I got everything. I can see the chat. Yeah, in the background, people can watch a gameplay video of Serene Estates Last Guy, and let's get to the topic. So, Last Guy is participating in Steam Next Fest this year. It's
Hell yeah.
Sorry.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, absolutely. And you can download the free demo. You can play it, and I urge everyone to wishlist the game. It helps us a lot. Get a lot of wishlists. Helps us with the algorithm. Helps us with. Yeah. So I don't even want to talk too much. I want to give the word to the devs. Tell us a little bit what Last Guy is about. What kind of game is it? Whoever wants to start.
How do we
Artturi,
describe it?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah,
you could start. I'll throw in some too.
Sure, it's kind of this sort of classic third person 3D action adventure game, right? Where you control a funny little character in a cool little world, and there's a story and some puzzles and excitement and a little bit of horror, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So we kind of wanted to we kind of wanted to go like back in time a bit. I modern gaming is not what it used to be, right? Like, these games used to never miss, and now they can barely seem to really, barely ever make a hit. And I think, we all know why. It's because, these companies aren't exactly hiring on talent anymore. They have different reasons that they want to hire people. And, games back in the day were made by people like us. They were made by nerdy white guys. And not, overweight women with nose rings. The industry has come a long way, so that's kind of the idea, is like it's a return to, the kind of gaming that we kind of grew up with, but with the ability to do a lot more than a PS2 can do, in terms of like making levels really large and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously have a lot better tooling than we did back then, because obviously, you are you guys who can't even do that full time in some cases, and but thankfully, modern tool possible. So yeah, cool. Yeah, hear it. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, most of this we just made on pretty much no budget at all. Like our budget on this game has been very small. So it's like,
yeah,
you know,
pretty
you
much
really can't do a lot, yeah,
Yeah, I
with
mean,
very
compared
little
to
now.
I know
yeah,
how it is. The
usually
budget
it
for
is.
Great Rebellion was also essentially non-existent, and that's just the fate of many indie devs to do as much as possible with very little. You know, try to punch above their weight. But that's something we can talk about later. Right. Yeah, maybe we can talk a bit how the project even came to be. There is a story behind.
Well, me
Yeah,
and
there is
Nick,
a story.
yeah, it goes back, kind of branching a little bit. Like me and Nick started cooperating on a little project you were working on back in the day called the Cock Hunter. I
Well, that
think
was the
it
code
was.
name.
Yeah, the
That was
code.
the I never really gave it a name. I was more
Yeah,
focused on just, like, the programming of it and, like, building the game up, but yeah, like, we had
yeah.
worked on that for a bit, like, he was helping me out with some things.
Yeah, I
Um,
gave some UI tips and design tips for like visual
Yeah, I'm
that.
sorry. I actually kind of forgot. I did not mention like what your roles are. Artturi,
Oh yeah.
you're mainly the artist, and Nick is programmer. Or you know what are the exact titles?
there's so
Yeah,
few of us that we both kinda do a lot of jobs, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
as
There's
usual.
2 of us. We do have another friend helping out, but it's like me and Artturi are doing the
yeah,
most
we
of, like,
also got
the real stuff.
third. Yeah, the third main guy is David, and he's helped a lot also and does a lot of stuff. Uh, couldn't do without him for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's that's how it is with small indie teams. Everybody has to wear a lot of hats. And
Yeah.
I heard that my mic keeps cutting out. Is that still the case? You hear me, everyone?
It doesn't sound like that to me.
Okay.
I
Well,
hadn't noticed. Maybe it's something on the stream end.
well, I'm also also having a bit of a sore throat today, so everybody can understand me. Right. Yeah, about the project. Yeah, it came to be as part of like originally you were participating in that game jam.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
then
got asked.
eventually, yeah, we were kind of like just discussing game design with Nick a lot, and then I was also doing cooperation with one other guy, and then I asked Nick to join the game jam, the Heimat Halloween game jam that Cult Games held like how
It
many
was
years
3 years
ago was
ago.
it? Yeah, 3 years ago.
Yeah,
Yep.
something like that. Time
Cult
That
flies.
was the
Halloween.
birth of the idea of the
Yeah,
last
yeah,
guy. It changed a ton, but yeah.
I
yeah,
do
yeah.
actually
So
remember the first prototype, which was
It looked nothing like this. Yeah.
it looked very differently. It also had a different like storyline. It was pretty bleak, pretty grim. I don't
yeah,
know.
the main point of that game jam project was for you to KYS, so to speak, in YouTube terms. Um,
To
yeah,
Pan Hero.
to
yeah,
unalive,
to
yeah.
add hero, to unalive yourself at the end of each. That was the goal at the end of each stage. But then we kind of switched it around because going for like a kind of a full indie runtime with you having to attempt to unalive yourself over and over is
It
kind
didn't
of
really
maybe,
work.
yeah, maybe a bit depressing and surprisingly hard level design and narrative design.
Can you imagine? Because like the idea was
Challenge.
basically that you wanted to, you know, do the thing, and the AI constantly kept you alive, like it protected you all the
Yes,
time.
So,
that was the thing. Like it resuscitated. Yeah,
because an important part to remember was the prompt for the game jam was "The Nightmare Never Ends" because it was a Halloween game jam, and that was why we came up with the
Yeah.
idea of, you know,
yeah,
having to end yourself in every level. But we did think about that for a few months about like after the game jam of like, could that actually work? And I'm
Yeah.
sure it could work. I'm sure there's somebody out there who's talented enough to do it, but I was like, "This is too hard. I don't like this
Yeah.
idea. This is way too
Yeah.
hard."
Yeah. For me too. Like I was trying to come up with level designs, like just on paper, not anything concrete yet, even, but just on paper, come up with level design ideas that could carry on like a whole game, and it was just like
Yeah, it's a
I
bit
don't.
too, I guess, like gimmicky. Like,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
doesn't really have the substance for an entire game. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But that's the thing with game jams and game design in general, and I don't know, just I guess the creative process. You start with something, and then you have an initial idea and you try it out, and then that actually doesn't work. But on the way there, you figure out new stuff, and well, in this case, it led to the game in its current form as it exists right. You know,
yeah.
often
But
throwing away
Laserhead,
ideas or so is not actually a
yeah,
bad thing. It's just part of the process. Sorry, yeah, you wanted to say something?
Laserhead did point out that maybe the character is trans, so that would then well, I don't know.
I
That
mean,
would
it's
be
not
one solution
explicitly.
for that design problem, but maybe wouldn't be that.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe
it'd be funny. It's
we'd
not a
get,
game I wanna make.
yeah, maybe we'd get too
The
much
last guy the
attention.
last guy has very small amounts of, like, that sort of there is a story to it too, and there is, there is something to the story, right? It's not just like this slop, but yeah,
Yeah,
I don't like things that are so blatant, they're
Yeah,
so in your face. There
yeah,
that's
it's
it's
a
very, like,
different,
2016.
yeah, different
yeah,
kind of um, like that stuff needs a different kind of, I think, a vessel, and that's not our game really, and that's not like a game that I want to spend 3 years on. Like
yeah. No,
Yeah,
I
I
think
know,
it's
I
it's
a,
it's
know.
a joke
been
I could
it's
spend like
been
a
done.
week on.
It's been all of that stuff has kind of been done more or less, and it's like,
Yeah,
at the end of the day, you want to make something that's actually not just
yeah, yeah. And
right.
impactful, and kind of like, if you go back to that, what we talked about, like games that we had in our pasts and what we played growing up, and if you want to make a game, you want to make a game that you like, and you like the games that were in your past, and then we really didn't have any of these sorts of elements like modern, these sorts of cultural war conflict tropes, etc., in there. So having them in there is very like kind of like too modern. And
Yeah,
if you want to make a game that you like, and like is like the ones that you used to enjoy, then yeah, it's this sort of game that we had in the 2000s. I'm sure in maybe in the next I don't know, 20 years, maybe people have nostalgia for this era and the meme
Yeah.
culture that we had, and then maybe they will have games that have this sort of very on the nose kind of
Hmm.
meme stuff. But
I mean, like
yeah,
make a retro inspired Pepe the Frog game or something. People will
yeah,
get
and
all
then
nostalgic about it.
yeah, it will be no novel when they would do it, which is hard to imagine. But I suppose that's how these trends go. So
It is hard
So
to
I guess,
imagine.
like, a good oh,
I can't
sorry.
imagine
I was
anybody
gonna
being
say,
nostalgic for the current year, but who knows?
it's very hard to imagine. Yeah,
so I guess we should probably talk about the influences
Yeah.
of the game because I know people are asking about that, and I think that
I
it's
just
probably
very briefly. Sorry to interrupt you. Just
Yep.
very briefly before we start. The Moon has asked, "Will you have an Indiegogo campaign too for this game?" Not because it's actually already pretty far advanced, but
yeah, we wouldn't have time.
as
It
our
wouldn't really matter.
followers know, we have multiple games in development. Uh, there will probably be at least one more. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, the influences of the course topic. Tell us about that.
So there's I mean there's definitely the Deus
All
Ex
yeah,
influence, the System Shock, like these kind of like classic
Portal.
games.
These
Yeah,
the stuff that people already have brought up, like time and time again, like the Deus Ex, System Shock,
Half-Life,
uh,
yep.
Half-Life, Portal, all of this stuff that uh, is in our kind of creative DNA. We didn't really intend for any of this stuff to be in here. We just started making the thing, and it kind of molded itself into this amalgam of these things that we all enjoy and like, and it just works like that.
Yeah, because I have noticed there is a trend, especially recently, where indie games are basically pretty literal interpretations of like game X from the 90s or the early 2000s or something, and they just make
Yeah.
that game, but with like slightly updated graphics and so on. But
Stardew Valley,
essentially,
yeah.
yeah, essentially they just make that game, and that can be okay, fine, it can be a fun game or something. But I think that's not really what you guys are doing here. Like it's just like these games have influenced you, and as you said, it's in the DNA of Last Guy,
Yeah,
but it's not like one specific game or something.
yeah, not really. And I think also because this is both of ours like first major kind of uh, project that we've worked on, and we are kind of like also this has been a big learning experience overall. And I would just say to that is that yeah, I don't think we even would have the skill set to like say well, we want to make this kind of old game but make it in a different way. I think we have to rely on our instincts in game design and in visual design. Whatever we come up with is the stuff that we imagine a game to be like, and uh, lo and behold, that is something that kind of came out in that 19th 2000s era. So that's what we kind of make, I
Yeah.
suppose.
It's just you have to make what you, yeah,
But
like what you know and what you're familiar with, and basically, I put myself in the shoes of a person who, like, when I make a game, like what game would I like to play, and obviously it's a game that is very similar to the games I played. Big surprise. So I guess that's just how it goes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
By the way,
Hmm?
Roland, I don't know if there's anything to do about it, but your camera is all black on the stream. I'm
Oh,
not
I
sure
did
what
not
that's about.
notice that. Yeah, that's the thing. Here I am. Has it been black the whole time? Have people
Yeah,
not
I
seen
think
my
because your
beautiful
beautiful face. Yeah, I think I
unkempt
see it. I
face? All right,
I see
that's a
it in the
tragedy.
Discord, but for some reason it's not showing up in
Hello,
the.
everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's back.
I have a face. Observe.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. All
um,
right.
yeah, I mean, there is also, because nostalgia is like a big thing, as in the chat has been said. Even like Zoomers are nostalgic for times they have never even experienced, for eras in gaming or
Yeah.
whatever that they have never known firsthand. So is there not the danger of making nostalgia slop, or because that is an accusation that you actually get from people. Oh, nostalgia bait or
Well,
whatever.
it is
I
kind
mean,
of valid in a way. Like you see, and whenever a new wave comes, it's labeled like new wave is nowadays labeled as something slop, obviously, because it's
Yeah, I
like
mean everything is slop. It's just a
yeah,
word that has lost its meaning a bit as well. But
yeah.
yeah, right.
But
yeah,
it is
people
in
will
a
call
way,
slop anything they don't like.
yeah,
Yeah, slop. Yeah.
yeah, or just like ironically calling anything that is a bit like something else slop or whatever. But like obviously, yeah, the nostalgia thing is weird. Like when I went to school and the game school I went in, there were people of my age range who didn't grow up in the 80s, making these 80s vaporwave nostalgia stuff. And I never really understood that or had really this sort of nostalgic feeling for that stuff. But I recognize that it's a thing that even the younger generation who hasn't even grown up in, like, say, our generation or my generation in the 80s, they don't have nostalgia for that stuff. They hadn't seen or grown up with it, but it's something that reminds them of some sort of a time that is close enough to the time that they're in, but different enough in a way that it reminds them of some sort of other kind of social arrangement that was in place.
A better
That
moment.
is a better kind of time. That's strange enough, but um, uh, like they know it enough so that it's comfortable for them or something like that. And I suppose a similar thing probably happens to the 2000s now that the craze very clearly is on for the 2000s Frutiger era. Many jokes have been already made about that, and big proportion of the audience that is leaning towards this design style and this aesthetic style is like younger people who haven't really also like grown up with it or anything like that. And I suppose it reminds them of like um um a time that is I don't know, comfortable, but a
You know
time
what?
that they don't also know.
You know what I think it has a big factor in it? I remember seeing this meme a while back that showed, like, in the early 2000s, like 2000, 2001, 2002, all of the big video games and all the big movies that came out that year. And, like, back in those days, you were getting classics every month. Like, it was crazy how much
Yeah,
good
yeah,
how good the
that's true.
content was
It's
back then. It was
true. Like
incredible,
I
incredible compared to today.
yeah, I think back to the times when I was actually playing video games the most, which was something between 1997 and 2004, and I didn't know how good we had it, so to say. It's
None
actually
of us did.
crazy now that I think back to that time. Like it was just normal for us, but yeah, so different.
Anybody in chat, just go to, like, 1999 top movies, top video games, 2000 top movies, top video games. Bangers, bangers, bangers every month.
Yeah.
Timeless bangers, and it just doesn't happen anymore. You get maybe
Yeah.
a couple games a year that'll turn out to be that good. They're not making Deus Exes anymore.
Yeah, I mean they're
They're trying.
making. Yeah, I don't want to sound
They're
like an
making slop.
ignorant boomer because I obviously don't even play most of those games because I don't care because I think they're completely uninteresting and stupid. But I think that they actually aren't that good anymore. Like, not just me not playing it. Yeah. I mean, that's a whole different debate why that is, why people can't produce that anymore. They've lost the
Yeah,
technology.
somebody said nostalgia for the PS3 era. Yeah,
Mm.
like I don't know. That's a thing. I got nostalgia
What
for the Xbox
what
360
I
era.
personally miss the most, or what I'm personally the most nostalgic for, is like just this raw passion that people just had when creating basically anything up until like 15 years ago or so. Be it, I don't know,
Yeah.
like musicians in the 70s that invented metal and rock or whatever, or be it nerds in the 80s and 90s that, the cliched eating pizza and programming the whole night through. Just these people just doing it because they have this drive, and I feel that for various reasons we are in an environment where it's possible, at least not in a mainstream way, like a big
Yeah.
mass phenomena. Of course, you have people still doing that, but they're niches, all indie. Anyway,
Mm.
yeah, that's maybe kind of a segue to the next
Way. Yeah.
theme we have. The next question I wanted to talk about the state of the AAA versus the indie game. Also, especially the state of the indie gaming scene. To think about.
Yeah, I think everybody knows the state of AAA, what it is nowadays, and that's the major reason any indie is doing what they are doing. Also, us as indies developing stuff independently and not wanting to go into this AAA industry because it is so bad. It's not. I wouldn't want to work as a wagey in a AAA studio. I think that would
No.
be something that I would do then along the lines of the original vision of the game. And
Yeah, no, you think they would let us make something like this? Never.
nah, never. And like that's obvious. Like, and it's a meme. Also, like we could spend hours about talking about just the like whatever downfalls of the AAA, and it is significant, but also significant is the indie scene, and it's very interesting actually what the whole indie scene kind of consists of, because there is also an element of indie kind of becoming the new trend and the new kind of mainstream also, and all of the scenes inside of the indie whole as itself. And what about us as kind of how would you describe as kind of dissidents in the so-called culture war in the indie scene? So there are a lot of kind of facets to this whole um, ecosystem that we operate in India.
Yeah, it's not,
Game
there is not
design.
a homogeneous indie scene or something. I do remember
Yeah,
when indie really became a thing in like 2010 or so. I do remember there was like a sense of the scene. You had like certain people, like I don't know, the guys who made Hotline Miami, the guy who made Spelunky, on Jonathan Blow, and you had these people, and they kind of like formed a scene. Were hanging out in certain forums, and then you were part of the scene. That's just not how it
yeah.
is anymore at all. You have a bunch of devs fighting for themselves, and then there is like the idea that you are part of this industry and you have to
Mm.
bow to rules.
Yeah, I wouldn't last. I wouldn't last. That's why I never even tried.
Yeah, I also have never really had any aspiration part of it, even before all the woke stuff. Yeah, it's actually, I mean, it's always been very realize your creative visions. Most people working in doing the same jobs as regular programmers and so yeah.
Yeah, because if you go into this whole creative field, that obviously we all had the aspiration of doing something in this field, making a game, because we've played these awesome games in the past, and what it would be like to create something great like they did, and we're just kind of trying to reach for those heights that they were at the time, and create something maybe as cool, maybe come anywhere as close as them. And if you approach the industry in that kind of angle with that desire, I don't think you can fulfill that desire in the AAA. You have to, if you want to achieve that goal and fulfill that desire that you have in your heart to make something amazing like those things that we experienced back in the day, and sometimes still. There are some good modern games too, mostly in the India. But if you wanna fulfill that desire, it's you're just gonna get crushed. Your dreams are gonna get crushed if you go into the AAA scene, because it's like it's just you're just gonna be working like some sort of a drone or something, and if you want any sort of like, I don't know, creative control, for example, if
Yeah,
you
that's
want
not going to
any
happen.
sort of
No, you
creative
can totally
control,
forget
like,
it. You're doing it for
yeah,
the shareholders. That's it,
oh my god, like
uh,
Yeah.
like oh, imagine you wanting to create something and have any sort of control of what you create. Like, you couldn't have that at all in that scene. That's so horrible. And think about the people who go in the AAA industry with the
So,
desire to create.
yeah,
I don't think there's that many of them anymore. I think it's more of people who just want a prestigious
yeah.
title. I think that's really what it's all about, and that's why it's mostly women now.
I think
Oh
that is
yeah,
a very
that's
important part.
another
Yeah.
angle too.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, true. It has become like this sort of um yeah, industry. It
Remember
has become
It has become a,
the woman who
a glamorous thing. Like I remember when I was growing
yeah,
up, you were a weirdo if you played video games, and you were even weirder if you wanted to
yep.
make them. And nowadays,
yeah,
it has big prestige and it's a big industry, and people expect to earn a lot of money there, or there's potential to earn a lot of money there. So people are going in there for completely different like that.
Yep.
yeah,
Absolutely.
for
It's a
sure.
different type of people, and it's in my opinion, a type of people that has no business making games, but that's
And
what it
it's
is.
those same people that are the ones that are strangling the creativity out of the gaming scene. It's really kind of committing suicide, really, or or
Yeah.
unaliving itself, or whatever the
Oopsie.
YouTube term is. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of it's in a death spiral.
Mm.
There's really the only way to save it is to just give money to talented people to make games and not get in their way. And they're not going to do that because you can make a lot of money on like a single player game or whatever. Look at Skyrim or something like that, right? It's possible, but they want the live service. They
Yeah.
want battle
Oh yeah.
passes. They want
No, I
Nicki
mean
Minaj
from
skins
a
in Call of Duty, like right.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
No, from a pure, capitalist point of view, it doesn't make sense. Like, why would you, if you have the choice, to make like, I don't know, a cheap mobile game or whatever, some live service, whatever, something cheap that constantly generates revenue because it's the subscription based model or whatever, and you have the option to like pour a ton of money into something that takes 5 years to develop. Like, why? What is the from a business perspective, the option? Like, there isn't even like a choice. I mean, clear.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're
Yeah.
gonna do that. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just if you have it, if you succumb to that logic of the market, so to say, then it happens. Yeah.
Hmm.
Right.
It is sadly just as simple as that. Though there are obviously
I
another
mean,
like other factors in
yeah,
it,
there
but
are
that is
other
like
factors as such
major
as
major one.
such as BlackRock,
Yeah, yeah,
but
there are like actual interests pushing these things, which obviously like is another thing in itself. But it's easier to talk about just simple, straightforward business interest, because also that is just like you can just straight up point to that, like, this is what's going on. That's how it is. It's
yeah.
obvious for everyone.
All right. I want to take a quick sort of break to answer a few questions that people have written to us in advance to the stream. Yeah, let's start with the first question by SCOLT. He wrote to us on Telegram in our chat group. Will there be a Switch release? Is there a Switch?
It's not planned right
Maybe
now, but
it's
it
not
seems
planned.
possible.
It might be possible. We'll have to see as we go, but we'll first try to nail everything correct with the PC release. So PC will be
First
the
priority, yeah.
first priority, and I suppose Mac also, like as a platform. But we're gonna have to see what we come up with for Switch, and if everything works out for that, or if we can even do it. But yeah, possibly.
We'll
That's a
look into all of them. We'll look into
yeah.
PS5. We'll look into the Xbox. I mean,
Look,
I think Xbox
we
would
want this.
probably be pretty easy, but
Yeah, we want this to be on, obviously, and as many platforms as possible. That would be the optimal case, but probably many don't know, but just simply porting them to another platform isn't that like straightforward or simple. So there is a lot of work that goes into it actually. So and for which it is very hard to prepare in advance if you're a stupid India dev who is learning as he goes. So
tell me
so it's
about
a strong maybe.
a strong maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've heard stories about the Great Rebellion's Switch port, but
Oopsie.
we don't need to go into that.
Yeah, that's technically yes. No, it's whatever. Can be open about it. Quite everything. Yeah, there will be a Switch port of the Great Rebellion, okay. Exclusive
Oh, did I spoil it?
it's fine,
Sorry.
whatever. Doesn't matter. We're gonna announce it soon anyway. Right. Yeah, so next question by Lova Man. Loverman? What? Loverman?
Loverman.
Loverman. Telegram. Will there be a vegan and or kosher version of the Bug Light?
Of course. And it's obviously already kosher and halal and vegan and all of those things. And whatever the next step from all of that is, whatever we call it, glob or glib or groloblob or whatever, it is that. It is for sure.
It is
All
already
of that.
10 steps ahead.
Yes.
I see.
Yes.
Mr. 0303 asked us on Discord, are there any plans for collectibles? When I played the demo, there was a part where you have to get back on the train at the end of the level. I got a bit confused, which made me pretty much replay the level. It would have been a good opportunity to find secrets items. How about new
Yeah, we're
abilities
gonna
as the
have
game progresses, or will the difficulty scale?
Yeah, we're gonna have collectibles. Obviously, this isn't gonna be like a collectathon, like those games from back then. But we're gonna have uh, a part of that DNA included with collectibles that then impact gameplay and your ability to survive, basically, and then your ability to get the, let's say, the so-called high score, but like the best ending. We're gonna have like a couple of endings, and if you want the best ending, you are gonna want to get all of the collectibles. So there is gonna be an element of that.
Cool. Okay. And Apollyon Analysis is asking here in the chat question: will there be any more voiced characters in the final product? The person is a voice actor.
Yeah, we're looking into
At least one, I'd say.
Yeah, so at least one, but obviously like having characters and having dialogue written and voice acted, it's so much work, and we are already curbing that workload with having Serena, the AI matron of the Serene Estates, be done with a AI generated text to speech, which is then heavily modified, of course, by me to get like cool attenuation or whatever. So it kind of sounds like speech, but all of this stuff is very time consuming. So we might have one more, but we're kind of limited in that capacity. And we also don't have too much characters because the whole design philosophy of our game is to emphasize isolation. There are characters and people who talk to you, obviously, and people who are against you and who are on your side, but we need to emphasize isolation in this game. And one way we're doing that is to really not have too much characters, like voiced characters. We all obviously have characters in the previous tenants, or not tenants, but what's the word? Workers or whatever, inhabitants of the Serene Estates. The whole complex was obviously like populated by people. Now it's automated, but you can find these old text logs from people that describe the living conditions, the working conditions, and the everyday life of the Serene Estates, and you get the sense of what the world was back when people were here. Where they now are is a mystery for you to solve, but you are going to have as your companion also the spirits of old, so to speak.
Right. Okay, bunch of
Can
more
I
questions from
answer?
the... Sorry, yeah. Okay. Mhm.
Can I answer one of the questions in the chat just now?
Yeah, sure. Which one?
From Laserhead said, "Is it too much to ask for combat 2 to 3 robot enemies?" So the stuff you see in the demo here is definitely very toned down from what is in the final release. We have a lot of other things that we are working on. There will be combat, and most of the combat will take place with you actually controlling a drone and shooting other drones. So it feels kind of like this space shooter combat thing, 'cause, sort of inspired by like System Shock, but you don't go into some other world, like some hacker world to like fight the other robots. You'll actually do it like in the same, in the same facilities that, last guy is running around in. So there definitely will be more combat. A lot of people have made comments about the demo that are like, it doesn't tell you enough and stuff like this. And it's just like when you guys see the full game, it'll be clear. There won't be any like unclear
Yeah,
things
it's a kind of hard thing to get like
because we
sort of
want
like a
mystery,
clear, yeah, like a clear vertical slice as a demo, and to present that for the people, because the full game will be there is a mystery in it, and the world is sort of mysterious, and it's hard to tell enough in the demo. It's a design challenge for sure. Maybe someone I don't know, more skillful and smarter than us could pull it off better, but it is very hard when the full experience actually is where you get the full story and the full effect of everything.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to spoil everything in a demo.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Right.
much it. We wanted to keep a lot of the more exciting stuff for the full game, and that's why we put it into those little clips of the action clips where you see where the drone is flying around shooting things.
Right. Some just a quick note from me. Yeah, I posted. I showed our social links, where you can follow and support us on. Very important, our Patreon, of course, where you will get
Yeah,
exclusive.
go here. Go
Where
to
you
these
will
places.
exactly. I'll just shill for our Patreon a little bit. Ah, so that's our Patreon, where you can support us with various tiers. You can join for free, and you will get a few. Yeah, you will get a few free posts. You can already support us for $4 per month, or up to whatever you want, $43 if you really want to support us per month, and you will get exclusive concept art. You will get exclusive updates on the development of the games, of all 4 games we are working on: Last Sky, Hyper Rebellion, Biostitch, Cult. And yeah, you basically can watch us as we're developing our, helping us a lot. And apart from that, we of course have social media. We're on X, we're on... So yeah, just so follow us.
Yeah, if you want to see my crazy whiteboard notes for The Last Guy, head over to our Patreon, and you can find it there and
Yeah, it will
laugh
give
at
you
it.
an exclusive insight into how our games are made. Right, more questions. So Paris Tita is asking, question 1, replayability of the game. Are there alternative puzzle solutions? Or and second question is there a are skippable cutscene? drone enters the demo. Yeah, I guess you mean. Well, I mean that's not a cutscene.
There aren't going to be cutscenes in that sense. The way the cutscenes work is more like how I guess like a cutscene in like Skyrim plays out, where like the characters are just talking and you're still in full control. That's just kind of how it works.
Right. And yeah, replayability. I mean, you did mention there are alternate
Yeah.
endings, so there's that.
hmm
Yeah, the alternate endings are going to depend on, yeah, basically how well you found all the kind of secrets and collectibles. It will reward your ability to do just
Your
like
curiosity.
your curiosity and like environmental exploration and that sort of thing. So if you're really looking into things and solving puzzles, etc., then yeah, you're gonna get the best ending, in which you will get the girl, the last girl.
You can get
Not
a
the
last
guy,
gal.
the last girl. Yeah, the last gal. You're gonna get that.
Okay, cool. So, what other questions? Are there TK is asking question one? Are there alternative skins?
We've played around with the idea. So
There's gonna be
we
in the future.
Oh.
We're gonna have a little bit of a thing. We're not gonna have official like alternate skins, but stay tuned in our social medias for an event that's coming up in which alternate skin might be a working factor in. So just that's for Halloween, by the way.
okay.
Oh yeah, you have something planned for him. People are saying my mic is cutting out. Is it there now? Does it work? Hear me?
It isn't for me.
It's
But
not
I
for me
suppose-
either.
kind of
I'm not
weird.
sure. It must be on the out end. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I have to look into this. As I said, I'm
Oh,
like,
let's just take a couple more and we can
Yeah.
wrap it up because
Yeah.
I think we have most of the question. How long is it? This the second question by TK.
Length is from, we've gauged it from 5 to 10 hours for now.
that
We don't
sounds
really
about right.
know. Yeah, we don't know that clearly, but it is going to be in the 5 to 10 hour range. So it's not going to be like a giant game that you have to waste a ton of time in, but it's not like a totally short thing either. So you can manage the playtime for sure.
Mm-hmm. Right. Other things we could talk about. I mean, we already did talk a bit about the whole like culture war, etc. thing. The whole topic of art versus ideology. The whole topic of how, yes, political or whatever games should be. I mean, we generally at Kvlt Games made a conscious decision to make games that are less or not at all explicitly political in general, mainly because better decision. But yeah, what's your take on that? If you talk about that.
It's a
Well,
risky play. It's a
yeah.
risky play. You've got to do it good, and most people are not really doing it well now. If you're gonna try to say anything at all, then somebody is gonna take that as political. If you're trying to put any sort of real kind of messaging into your game, but just do it subtly is I guess like the best thing. Even if you have a left-leaning perspective, if you make good art and you're very subtle about your positions, then other people on the right could still enjoy it. It would, because it's not so obnoxious. It doesn't bash you over the head, with a club like Dustborn does, right? Insufferable, completely just, that game will never ever be playable. They wasted so much time and
never.
money to
La-
create a meme.
Sorry to interrupt, but Laserhead is writing, "We will never know." Rip mic. Does it mean my mic is dead or what? You're not hearing me?
Can you
Please
guys
write something in the
hear
chat. Can you hear me?
me and Nick, or can you not hear anyone?
Hmm.
I mean, it looks normal on my end.
I don't know. It sounds fine to me. That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody do what Dick Penis is. Just cuts out intermittently, basically. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe something is fucked with my mic. I'm not sure. I mean, it shouldn't be, but because
Somebody. Oh, he said your mic is cutting out if you
if you
don't
don't
speak
speak,
loud enough.
wait
So
a second.
maybe
Aha,
it's
could
the
be.
noise gate.
Yeah. Okay. It's probably the noise gate. Wait, one sec.
Yep, trash it. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think I got it now. Can you hear me better now? It was probably a filter.
Probably perfect now.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, sorry for that. I'm a noob when it comes to streaming, so still learning here. So maybe data buffer if he talks too much. Are you implying I talk too much? All right. Okay, let me know if it's now better or maybe it was something different. I don't know. Yeah, and so yeah, that's the whole art versus ideology debate, and yeah, like why make games at all? Like why did you decide it's games that you want to make? Why not? I don't know.
I think
Something
we all
else.
kind of have the same motivation and the dream.
Wait, I
Like,
think you are now
obviously,
Yeah,
quite
your
quiet.
mic is super low.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking. What is the problem with this? Let's see.
Well, anyway, I can answer this
Yeah.
one while he's well,
Is it now?
it's a silly question too, like why make games? I mean,
Ah,
why
yeah.
do anything, right?
Yeah.
Why wipe my ass if I'm gonna take a shit again, right?
Well, yeah.
But I do it just because it's kind of like an autistic thing for me. Like I just enjoy. I have like 10 projects on my computer that are all different types of games, like a like turn-based RPG, like JRPG, first-person shooter, like a tactics type game. I just sit there and I just play around with the engine just for fun, just to see, try to like practice like how to make things work, Um, so for me, it's
you've
just
done
it's
games
kind of
all
like
your life, right?
I've been programming for about 12 years. That was when I started to just kind of like fuck around and just I don't know, see what I could do. Um, I didn't know anything back then. I was just watching YouTube tutorials, like
Yeah, but
tons
you've
and
like
tons and tons of them.
played, and it's been a hobby for the entirety of your life, probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of a silly question coming from me because obviously it's exactly the same for me. I was just always fascinated by games, and it's just I don't know. It was just
Yeah,
it's
you
just fucking cool
yeah.
that you can just make these things and then you can give them to other people and they can
it
play
is
them.
the
And they can...
ultimate form of media. And by
I
the way,
think
is
so
my
too. Yeah.
audio
Yeah, it's fine
is
now.
my
Yeah.
audio now? Okay, it's better now. Okay. It is the ultimate form of media, and this kind of goes back to like what Dave Martell is always talking or sometimes talking about is like we're all the same guy. Which is funny to say, but it is right. Kind of like, yeah, we all have this same like desire, this want. We all kind of like the same things, like cool stuff, metal games, that sort of thing, and yeah, we just want to make these cool games, cool projects, and this kind of project work.
Yeah, it's
I've
just
done a lot of
yeah.
project work, but the game project work is the most complex and intense and just complicated thing ever to tackle. And to get any sort of kind of headlock on how this kind of process actually gets like done, is it's amazing to see the results of when you get something done, when you get an idea on the screen that you had in your mind, and it's working programmatically and it looks good visually. It is it's amazing to see it come together.
Mm.
And that's like for a long time that was a big mystery for me, and that's why I went to game development, because it was like the ultimate challenge. I could always like draw stuff, on paper, yeah, it's fine. Like it looks good, and it's an easy medium. But then, okay, well, these games, they're very artistic. They're cool. They play nice. How do they come together? It was a major mystery. Like, how does this project, like management wise and etc., like how does it come together at all? It was a big mystery, and I went to school about it a little bit, but then obviously this indie game scene and the projects that we've done together uh, um, gave me that knowledge, and yeah, that was kind of the hunt for the ability to make these things at all, which has brought us to this state that we are working on the full release of this game. So it is all kind of hunt for this, for the ability to do this thing in the first place, I suppose.
Yeah,
For the
it's
ability to do
making
the game
games
in the first place.
is like the ultimate game. I always saw it like that like playing games was nice, but like, you know, actually
Yeah,
making the games is
yeah,
is once I started making games, I found that much more interesting, and it's a game in itself, you know, in a way.
It really is. It's funny that you mentioned that because I've always felt like that too. It's like a very, it's like some sort of a game like RimWorld, but like way more complicated. You know what I mean? Like a game like a management, like where you have to like build and like set
So
everything up
all these
correctly and like
genres combined, and
yeah,
that
it really does. It feels like, especially like programming too. Like it feels like you're playing this this game. Um, and definitely when you finally actually figure out the solution to something that's been bothering you for a few weeks, like that dopamine rush is crazy.
yeah, absolutely. It's like most of the time it's actually like pure suffering. Like as
yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Thomas Brush said in one of his videos, like the process is horrible. Like it's actually
But
very
but I think
unpleasant for most of the time. But when it works,
I
it's so
think
fucking
people,
good.
yeah, I think or I feel it as just like these peaks and valleys. Like obviously we feel the valleys way more because like we probably we're all kind of this personality type that feels the negative emotions maybe the most strongest. I don't know anything about that stuff, but uh, it's like this. We call it suvanto in Finnish. It's you go into the sudenhetki. There's the time of the wolf, the valley that you are in. And it's like nothing works, and you're not getting through this design problem that you have or whatever. But when it clicks and when you know what you have to do, the feeling is like nothing you've ever felt before.
Yeah, it's
it's
true.
Pretty
it,
much, yeah.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
true. Like it's like
it's
there are
amazing.
these times where you just don't think like you can actually do this, and it's just like this
Yeah,
heap of hopelessness, basically. Yeah, as
yeah.
TK said in the chat, Devin confirmed autism crack. Yeah, it's crack for autists. Kinda, with including the calm down and everything. Yeah. Um. So
Oh, there's a good question from J Bay. I don't know if we're going a bit long here, but
I mean,
I
we're
just
an hour. I guess that's fine. Like,
yeah,
let's do like 10 more minutes or so, 15.
sure. He asked that what is the hardest part in getting a project like this running? Ideas, concepts, programming engine, knowledge, and decision. By the way, which engine is this built in? People, etc. So this is in Unity. But your question is a very deep and interesting one, especially about when it comes to people. When you have to work with people in an environment that you don't have any sort of financial incentive for anyone to do fucking anything. There is no money in your future. There might be,
Maybe.
maybe, but uh, to find the people is the number one thing.
Yeah,
I
that's actually
think
true. Yeah.
you need the right people, and the right people are the sort of people who have the kind of similar disease as you have, which is the want to create this sort of artistic expressions or whatever, but you need those people, and you need to get them together, and then it just happens. That's how it needs to go. Like you can't. Yeah, that's the only way that it's gonna happen. Really, there really is no other way, unless you wanna then go into AAA or whatever. But if you wanna do India, you need the right kind of mentally kind of deranged people. Obviously, we're all like mentally sound, but we have this sort of nick, this sort of not nick, but quirk, and want to actually produce something good. And you need those people, and you need to find them. You need to, I don't know, go.
That
I
is the
did
hardest
this.
part. Yeah.
Yeah, finding them is so hard, and that's what I was when I was getting out of school, and I knew that I had this giant drive of I want to be in a games a game process, like a project where we make games or media. And I then just started to look for people, any sort of people that I could find. And you have to be kind of lucky too, but the more people you reach out to, the more lucky you can get. So just if you want to collaborate with someone and make a game, make something, then yeah, just reach out to anyone. And
Yeah,
there
I
are
wanna
people that are gonna shoot you down and not gonna want to work with you. I went through of those people myself, but you're gonna find then a group and collaborators that know what it's all about, kind of then, and you're gonna get something built up for sure.
yeah, that's a
So
really
yeah, I
good
wanna
point. Sorry, yeah, Nick, you want to?
oh no, you can go on. I wanted to respond to that too after you're done.
No, just very briefly, like I made the same experience with Kvlt Games. Everything, it was I'm really happy with the people we have now, because basically everybody on our team is this kind of person. But you have to find them, and I also made the experience like that. People said they wanted to collaborate or they joined or whatever, and they might have been like really talented people or skilled people or whatever, but at the end of the day it's really this one trait, like that they are like driven by this mania to create, and they just do it out of themselves. I don't have to constantly be like, hey, maybe you could do this, maybe you could do that. They just do shit, and you need to find this type of people, because otherwise it's not going to work. And they're very rare. They are pretty rare. People who have
That's
talent are
correct.
actually more common, because or who have skills. There are a lot of people with skills, but there are very few people who are like that. Yeah, sorry, Nick.
No, you're completely right about that though. It is the most important part and it's the hardest part to this whole thing. But like I was saying a minute ago, I've been doing this for a little over a decade now, just constantly just trying to create different types of things because I just enjoy that's sort of, it's like that mental puzzle. Like, how do I set this all up to make it work? But that entire time, the reason I was kind of doing that was not only because I liked it, but because I was just waiting for something to happen. Do you know what I mean? I was just waiting to meet somebody who would have because like for me, I needed an artist. I can't make a game without an artist. I'm not going to put out like some just store asset, games. So I did have I bought a shitload of store asset packs, and I would just make my own games with them, kind of waiting, thinking like, one day I'm gonna find an artist, and then we're gonna team up, and we'll make something cool. So that's another part to think about it, is that those people with that mania, they are out there and they are looking for people to network with too. That doesn't make it any easier to find them, but I
Mhm.
just thought that was
Yeah.
important to mention.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I mean
Like you need to
that's
be active in whatever circles you're in. You need to be active with that stuff if you wanna make something. Then yeah, you are gonna find someone for sure.
yeah, I mean that's really,
I'm
because
sure
that's a question that JB is asking in the chat.
at some point.
On a lot of people, how do you find the right people? And I can't really give you an
Yeah.
answer except for just keep going and keep on being manic about what you're doing.
Yeah,
To
it's not gonna well, I'll say this. I think this is a good advice that you shouldn't think about finding the right like people. I think it's best to think about when if you want to make a project, if you want to do project work and make something cool, I think it's more important to just focus on if you find someone, then take every advantage of them, and if they fall through at some point, then whatever. But don't think about if they are totally correct. Obviously, like don't like start collaborating with some homo or something. It's not gonna end well. But like just anything that you do with anyone, go into it 100%.
Yeah, I
That's
agree
the
with that.
only way to do it. Like, and if it fails 100%, then that's whatever. That's fine. But don't think that it is going to. Just go into it 100%. In the industry, there is this idea of killing your darlings, and this idea that like, yeah, well, every project is kind of like on the chopping block, even from the get-go, that like kind of don't get married to your ideas or anything like that. I'd say no to that idea, and I'd say that go 100% to anything that you do, because you're not gonna get anywhere if you don't, right? You're not gonna learn about any of those experiences that you actually were in if you don't go into them 100%. If you go into them like with this idea that this isn't the right person, or that all projects are kind of like startups and kill your darlings, etc., etc., then you're not gonna care about them, and you're not gonna really uh do any learning, kind of.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what
I
I
agree
think.
with that. And God's dog asked, "Is that why you teamed up with Kvlt for those people?" Then Ed, that is exactly why.
Yeah, these guys are insane, all of them.
They've helped us out a lot. They've helped us out a lot with producing this game. We wouldn't, the game would not be where it is like in the same way
Yeah.
without Kvlt Games helping us.
Yeah,
This, like me and Artturi mentioned, this is like the first real game that we've ever put out. I would just put time into the projects. Once I got like the little gameplay working, make a couple levels, and then I'm like, all right, I'll move on to something else.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
of course a completely different thing. Actually, finishing a game is
Yes,
so
yes.
much harder than like making some kind of demo or whatever that you play around with a bit. I also, when I started out, I spent years just making, starting projects and not finishing them, and just like grinding through a project until the bitter end. Like that's a whole different beast there. Yeah, TK is writing, hang out in based artist circles and produce stuff that is cool. People will reach out to you. I
Yeah, for
mean,
sure.
yeah,
That's a
Yeah.
good way to
basically,
put it. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, like
Um,
do that, but also like if you wanna like rise up even more, you need to also reach out to people too. Like don't just wait around, like create cool stuff, but also you need to be kind of this catalyst if you actually want to by yourself or in yourself kind of build up whatever you want to create. You need to be the catalyst for that, and you need to like be the charcoal that burns like bright. You blow, I don't know, that's a whatever, forget that. But yeah, you need to be contacting people and being on top of it all the time if you want to like actually get something going, and like contacting cool guys, and
yeah, I mean,
just contact anyone who's cool.
yeah, you have to reach out to people a little bit. Like I'm actually kind of an introverted person, or at least somebody who wants to be left alone. But I have gotten into the habit of just whenever I see somebody making something cool, to just write to them and just reach out to them and be like, hey, this is cool, and I don't know, maybe want to collaborate or whatever. Like, yeah, you just make connections, maybe a person knows a different person or whatever. So you have to be a little bit. You can't just make cool stuff in your room and wait for the miracle to happen or something. But in
Yeah.
general, the most important stuff is to just be completely true to your passions, yeah. And then, but And then when you actually try to make something and make a product and sell it and make a game that is finished and put it on Steam, then you will nonetheless, no matter how passionate you are, you will be confronted with the realities of like the fact that it's a market and you know that you have
Yes.
to earn money and you have to do marketing and all of this shit is horrible and I hate it. But you have to have so much passion that not only can you do the thing you're doing, but that it then even survives the contact with that reality. So
Yeah, the actual kind of what they call grind. Yeah,
yeah, that's
that's the real grind. Like making the game and all of that stuff. It's like fun, yay! But doing the like publishing actually and like getting that out anywhere is it is very horrible. But
Yeah.
once you get to that stage, it's fine. You'll get over it. You'll
yeah, you learn to accept it, and it is actually possible to accept the realities of that without like selling out or whatever. Like all these things are possible, but you have to just I guess grind through. Yeah. Right. So Godsdog is asking, so you three make it, then Kvlt helps. I got it wrong and thought all of Kvlt were on it or something. Yeah, no, it's I mean, sorta like yeah. I mean, it's mostly you guys and we help with whatever we can.
We have a 3-person dev team. It's mostly us, but Kvlt Games does help us with a lot of stuff. I am retarded when it comes to fork and like version control and stuff. So, you know, Kvlt's been helping out with that a lot, and
yeah,
I appreciate it.
we got a lot of help from Roland. Me and Nick are the like main guys, and then we have another guy called David, and then obviously a lot of help from Cult as a whole.
Like on like specific things, you know, like specific
yeah.
little things that we need help with.
I mean, we basically have a pool of people with various talents, and everybody has their main projects, but
yeah,
sometimes you can help each other out and work a bit on something else. Yeah. Right. Okay. I think we are slowly approaching the end of the stream, and
another question.
we have gone. Is there another question? Ah, yeah. Did you already talk about how the idea of the game came to being? If not, how did it happen? Yeah, I mean, we did talk about it briefly in the beginning, but I don't know. Maybe you can sum it up in like one
Just to
TLDR.
sum up and reiterate, the whole thing came out from a game jam in which you're an inhabitant, or the game jam. Nick, what was the prompt for the game jam? Say again.
So it was a Halloween, it was a Halloween game jam, and the prompt was "The nightmare never ends." So we made a game off of that.
Yeah, so it was set in a facility which was like housing people in pods, and you're in that game jam game that we make like 3 years ago. That was the catalyst for this project. You had to like off yourself in each level, but then we kind of changed the thing around in that you're still in this facility and there are these pods that people live in, but your goal is to then escape and actually redeem all these people and kind of save everyone. So it became a more of a hopeful kind of experience than this sort of more horror focused that would be what we made in the game jam. But that was the initial idea for the project, and it was initially called The Last Man, and it's obviously a reference to Nietzsche's Last Man, or whatever that was. So
I think it was
then
Last
we
Man,
switched. Yeah, then we switched it around to be Last Guy, to be a bit more gamey, and then we have a bit of this talked about the naming stuff, and then the setting itself became more prevalent in the game, so it's Serene Estates, Last Guy. So yeah, that's kind of how the whole idea kind of came to be.
Vampire Frog is writing Nietzsche to put these nuts in your mouth.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice,
that's
that's
very nice, very cool, Vampire Frog.
Great question to end the stream on. Thank you, Vampire Frog.
These are great words to end the stream on. Maybe very briefly, what is the future of Serene Estates? What are your next moves?
So I kind of alluded to a little bit that was in the future for Halloween. We're gonna have something fun planned, so keep an eye out for that. And obviously, anyone who is still here who hasn't downloaded the demo and wishlisted the game on Steam, do so, especially during this next fest that we're on right now. It'll help us a lot. And other than that, you're just gonna have to wait and see what we're gonna unveil next. I think we can say something about next year's first quota.
Yeah, the release.
First quarter next year. That sounds good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
totally realistic. Yeah.
I think everybody's gonna be happy at around that time. So without going into very specifics, because that's always a very bad idea to, if we're talking about any concrete full launch, to go any specific like that. But yeah, first quarter of next year, maybe, probably. If not, then maybe we are dead. But
no,
yeah.
let's not be dead. Chris Hansen says, "Shabbat shalom, friends." Very nice. Thank you, Chris Hansen.
Yes. To you too.
You too. And Ferrasteta is asking, did something in the demo change over the first update some time ago?
Oh, there's been a bunch of fixes, yeah.
But like content-wise, I think it's pretty much the same, except for the fixes.
Content-wise, yeah, we had a couple of fixes, and the demo changed. Yeah, nothing major, just a couple of fixes. But with the feedback that we got, we kind of changed a lot of things around.
Yeah, that is true too.
So for the full release, everybody's gonna be happy. Nobody's gonna have anything to complain about. For sure.
All right.
Guys, go play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Download the game. Wishlist the game. Wishlisting is extremely important for us. Follow us on our socials. Subscribe to our Patreon. Support us. We are making cool games because we are slightly crazy and manic about it, and we somehow need to also pay rent. So I don't know. Buy our games. Help us. And yeah, thanks everyone for listening. I think
good stuff. Let's do it again sometime.
Yeah, anytime. Yeah, we're gonna have these Kvltcasts semi-regularly whenever there's something interesting to talk about. Yeah, that's it then. Anybody got any last words?
It's lasting time.
It's it's funny that this is coming from you especially. All right. Okay. Well then, thanks everybody for listening. Till next time. Bye.